So we've got a lot of things that are in the works or we've just finalized.
Once again, this be the realest shit you heard in your life.
Welcome, everyone, to the Realest Show You Know. We have the latest episode today. I'm your host, Kris Diaz, and this is where we pull back the curtains on the real estate industry and give you folks, the audience, an inside look. And I'm very honored today because we have a special guest. We have Bill Fiorvante, CEO of the Orange County IDA. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
A very special guest that was looking around, and I was like, oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I mean, we go back quite a while, right?
Yeah.
I was a banker, and I know you were part of the Orange County Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
and stuff like that. And it's been a while. And I wanted to have an episode where we focus on the commercial real estate market and the economic development that's happening in Orange County.
A lot of it. There's a lot.
Yep. And I thought you would be the perfect guest to speak on that.
Thank you.
And can you give us a quick overview of what the Orange County IDA is?
Yeah, so the IDA is the Industrial Development Agency. There are scores of IDAs around the state. I do believe that we exist because, if you haven't heard, it's a little expensive to do business in New York State. Highly regulated.
Yes.
So IDAs, as we often say, help level the playing field by providing incentives without ever writing a check. I'll probably clarify that a few times. Really providing savings on taxes, future taxes that they will pay, in order to attract businesses or help them expand. And we are competing today, especially. We're competing not just with other counties, with other states. It's a global competition for the types of businesses that we're trying to bring, especially as we get into higher tech, chip fab, life sciences, things like that, which I'm sure we'll get into. But, you need some sort of incentive to attract them to New York State, because even just our neighbors, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and parts south, they just have a totally different cost structure. And it's just oftentimes easier to do business. People want to be in New York, no question about it, but the incentive really helps us close those deals.
Yeah. I mean, especially New York, high taxes, right?
Absolutely.
So most people associate New York with high taxes, and help leveling the playing field does make a difference. And, it helps grow the county, grow the community. It helps with property taxes, offset the property taxes in the county by bringing businesses. And I personally have noticed in the last few years the business community is growing. Some larger organizations have come into Orange County. And can you tell us a few that might have come in the last few years?
Yeah.
And
we've had tremendous growth in the last 10 or 15 years. That's how long I've been in the game, and I'm just a cog in the wheel here. It's a tremendous team of economic development professionals that we have. I will, touch on those in a few minutes for sure. But we have a number of projects in the last few years that I'm excited about. We brought Royal Wine Company here, young manufacturer. First of all, one of the largest grapefruit grape juice brands in the country, in Kedem. It's kosher grape juice. It's at every Jewish celebration, as well as Manischewitz, which they make as well. It's one of their 70 SKUs of wines that they manufacture. They were headquartered in Bayonne, New Jersey, and they had satellite locations in various places, including in Marlborough. They had a little tasting center there. Mm-hmm. Well, in our work with our team, we helped bring them to Orange County to consolidate their operations, and headquarters being in Goshen, New York. Okay. So they have both production happening there and distribution of their wine, of their grape juice, and actually a number of food products, that especially kosher products, through their Keiko division. So they're going to be creating well over 100 jobs. The taxes are astronomical. I think when they're done with the incentives, they'll be paying about $4 million a year in property taxes, in this case, of the village of Goshen into the county. And so it's a huge boost. That's, as you said, we're really trying to, I know one of my motivations is to attract quality careers here. Mm-hmm. And also we have a local local labor policy
Yes.
that states that if you receive any incentive from the IDA, you need to build local with local laborers. And we also encourage a local sourcing of materials and everything. So it brings construction jobs, quality of permit careers, but also the ratables, as you mentioned. You need your I live in the city of Newburgh, and when I moved there about 11 years ago, our taxes were through the roof, and no one could believe it because I'm in the city and everyone knows the city is trying to revitalize itself and everything, but exorbitant taxes. I wanted to be here. My family did. We do a lot of work in the city, both on the community side and try to build up the economy here. So I wanted my skin in the game here. But I will say over those 10, 11 years, my taxes have been flat, or a couple of times they've gone down. It's because of that renaissance in a place like Newburgh where you have new businesses and at housing as well. We had hundreds of our building stock units that were decrepit, were empty off the tax rolls, or barely generating any taxes. And almost every street in the city of Newburgh has been turned over, and you see development. And it really it affects not just my taxes, but people's quality of life. You can have greater services here, so it's essential. So there are a lot of those areas that we think we strengthen the local economy, which is really what we're intended to do. So Royal One that's been a great addition in an underutilized parcel just off Route 17M. I'm big on the location of these projects. No one wants anything in their backyard.
Exactly.
But they have to go places, and they go where they're zoned for it. So planning on a local community level is important. Your comprehensive plan of where you want what, because when something is zoned, let's say in our case, a lot of times industrial, they can build there as of right. They don't need special approval. So, but I am big on the right projects being in the right place, and Royal Wine's a good example. We have a lot of other projects, even smaller local projects, meaning local developers or business owners that are trying to grow that we're helping that I'm really proud of. So we've got a lot of things that are in the works or we've just finalized.
Good. Yeah, I'm familiar with that location, and that is a perfect location. Nobody wants it. A big industrial building right next to their house.
Exactly.
And there was a lot of empty land there. It's away from the residential community. And as a property owner in Goshen, I appreciate helping offset our tax base,
Exactly,
if you will. And can you talk about how you work with some of the local municipalities, and partner with them? Because honestly, you need to get their buy-in.
Absolutely.
So,
and we're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole either. Again, I want things to be in a community that welcomes them. You do get, especially today, I think the anti-development community, especially around major projects, we've had like Legoland and such, where it's galvanized that anti-development. So if somebody, and we find people from other communities team up with, other places where projects are having to come in and kind of oppose them. But so it is, again, it's important for me to be in a community, a project to be in a community that welcomes it. And to me, that all comes with just the word you use, partnership.
Yeah.
I really take a lot of pride in building relationships with our local leaders, our mayors, our town supervisors and such. I want to know what they want, what's important, what are priorities in their communities, what do they want, and what don't they want as well. I think that's important, because if you don't, as you said, if you don't have a municipal leadership on board, the town itself, the planning board, if they're not in alignment, they don't want this project, it's not going to happen. It's just not. It's going to be really difficult. We don't, although sometimes that's the perception that we're forcing things, the economic development community. We can. We present things. We certainly advocate for them for the reasons we talked about, the benefits to the community, not just job creation, but all the other things. But, they have to accept it.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's face it. Most of Orange County, it's currently rural, but it's been rural for so long that, folks aren't used to having corporations and businesses come in. And even if it's not in their own backyard, they just don't want it. They want empty farmland.
What I hear all the time is people that moved up here, even within 10 years, they'll say, I didn't move up here for traffic or to see this business or this, that, and the other. Now I say to myself, because you moved here for a rural location, you want to get out of a busy city, do we have to shrivel and die here? I mean, we have to strengthen our economy. We have to continue to do that because the world is changing, especially now so rapidly. We need to keep up with it. So, we can't just sit here on the sidelines and just look at open green fields and because it looks pretty. We do need to develop appropriately in the right locations. And again, plan and community planning, comprehensive plans for each community are integral to this, really essential. But again, we can't just sit here and, let everything go by just because people don't want to see a few more cars on a certain road.
Yeah. And it's not just that. It's most people I find that moved up here is, quite honestly, it was a little more affordable than the surrounding suburbs of New York City. But they still had to commute down to the city,
right,
down to Westchester, Bergen County, or, parts of Jersey. And traffic is getting worse and worse and worse trying to commute down there.
Yeah, that's where the real traffic is trying.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when you have a thriving community where folks can not only live, but, they can work, shorten their commute, 20 minutes, half an hour, commute to work. And it's bringing jobs to the area. It just makes for a more, I think, a better community.
For sure. And ever since, even before I got in economic development, whenever it was the subject, it was always what people are saying is, I want my kids to be able to go to school, go to college or not, but be able to live here actually and have a thriving, salary and benefits and all that. They'll sort of be able to be successful. So we want to bring those types of careers here. And again, is the idea, the industrial, which really can be industry in any sorts. We, deal with hotels, also different types of businesses, but it is often industry.
Yeah. Well, they can work in the area. They don't have to commute as far.
Oh, yeah.
You're building a thriving community, the jobs. Yeah.
We want people to have jobs here, quality jobs, the types of jobs they go to the city for. We want to bring those industries, those types of companies here. And that's always what we're trying to strive for. I know we often, I'd say the economic development community gets criticized in this area for warehouse distribution, but that's something that was especially through COVID. It's just a major shift in the economy and in the way business is done. E-commerce is just incredibly vital. But we bring great companies in that pay top wages and great benefits that allows someone to have a career. So that oftentimes is what we'll call, working class type jobs. But we are working, especially in the last several years, trying to attract better types of projects, better careers. That's why we are getting into technology and the life sciences, which is research, pharmaceutical manufacturing, things like that. They're better companies, better industries, future-ready industries that are going to be around, which is important for the sustainability of what we're trying to attract here. But they're also require more skills. They'll build skills in their employees and therefore paying them more. So that's really the direction where we've been going.
And the jobs are going to run the gamut, right? So it's not just
you need all level of jobs. Yeah. You need people at
different levels of management. It's not just manufacturing jobs, but they're professional jobs. And those workers, who are attracted to those jobs they're the ones who are going to shop at your cafes. They're going to go to your delis, your restaurants, your entertainment and support other businesses as well.
That's the multiplier effect that we talk about all the time. Even Royal Wine, something like that. Think of all the suppliers they have, the businesses they're going to, patronize locally and their employees, hundreds of employees out there getting gas, buying food locally. It's a huge number. I think the statistic, I know always the rule of thumb was that people spend the dollars they make, they spend 70% of it locally. So you think about what that impact is and the kind of velocity of money that goes around as a result of indirectly as a result of these employers coming to the area. It's really huge impact on the economy. Again, not just the business that's coming, but those that it feeds around it.
Now, I know you mentioned Royal. Do you see a particular industry that is more attracted to this region or wants to move to this region, or not really?
Yeah, sure. Well, I did mention warehouse distribution, which has been on fire, especially since COVID, where everyone is ordering things and brick and mortar is not doing as well. So they are interested in our area because we are close to like 60 million people in the Boston to Washington corridor, of which we're right in the middle.
Yeah,
it's, the most concentrated market in the United States. So they want access to that market. We have 3 interstate highways coming through Orange County. We have a regional airport. We have rail coming through.
Yeah.
Road, River, Rail, and Runway is what I know our partners at the Orange County Partnership call it. We've got those assets logistically. Plus, we have an educated workforce. We got a diverse workforce. We have, think about especially the types of businesses we're trying to attract, some of these industries, these higher caliber, higher tech industries. We can draw talent from Boston and New York, Philadelphia here within a few hours. It's really not a big move for someone to do that. So we have an ability to attract great businesses in that regard. So they want to be here. Warehouse distribution, because logistically our advantage, they want to be here. But manufacture for the same reason. They manufacture and also distribute. They want to be able to distribute to their local customer base and be able to expand that because of the reach that we have. And we also have the asset of the Hudson Valley, which has really become a brand now. You see it in airports. Sometimes it'll list it as the Hudson Valley. People want to come here.
California has Napa Valley. We have the Hudson Valley.
Absolutely. And I moved here from further upstate about 25 years ago, and I could not be more in love with this area. I love Orange County. As you know, I've worked in various capacities in nonprofit, and then really, I think tangents of economic development, the chamber, and then working in business attraction, everything. I love it here. It's in the recreation opportunities we have. I love the proximity to the city, but also the distance for the city. Hey, we'll go in for day trips, and then you come home and you're back at home base. You can breathe.
Yes.
You can relax. It's tremendous. It's a great way of life, which is more important than ever to anyone, is quality of life. And we've got that in spades.
Yeah.
So other types of businesses, my point is, businesses are also locating now where the employees are, where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be where the CEO lived, and they would be somewhere in proximity. Now it's where the workers are, where the talent is. So people want to be in an area like this. It continues to grow. We're seeing what's happened with the housing market and stuff, very low inventory. But companies want to be here of all sorts. We just need to continue to play those cards in order to attract the top businesses. We can bring the best projects for our residents.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've overheard that, the film and television industry is also growing in Orange County. I know they filmed a couple of television shows, movies, and whatnot.
In Newburgh alone, we've had a tremendous film activity. Absolutely. Another great driver. So today I'm probably going to recommend a few future guests for you. And one that comes up right on this subject is Amanda Dana. She is Orange County's Director of Tourism and Film. So she's doing a tremendous job with tourism. She and her team. They have
in Goshen?
Team. She's in her department. She works for the county government, and their department is on Main Street there in Goshen.
Yeah.
But they've got their hands in everything. Every hospitality venue, they're working together to promote them, to draw folks to the county. There was just a recent article about how we're booming in the weekends, especially. All the hotels are full and all that. But Amanda and her team also manage film. She has a specialist, Nora Martinez, and they're working with location scouts, trying to, let them know all the assets we have here. You have a place like Newburgh or Port Jervis, even Middletown, where you have urban settings, city settings, and then you have rural, as you said. You have tremendous landscape. You're seeing so many different productions coming up here now. So I do recommend bringing her on because she could really tell what's happening with it. But that's a sector. There are tax credits available for what were considered upstate here. They were just renewed, which is essential. A lot of productions come up here to make those savings. But what they do in a community where they're paying fees usually, they're hiring people locally. Mm-hmm. We had the last few years, we have a local production company that has been training below the line, they call it. So it's not all of your top talents, everyone behind the scenes and all of that. We have training programs to help keep people online. So when those productions come, they're employing local people, not to mention catering, other businesses that they need. They're staying, they're renting from Airbnbs and things like that. So the film and continue to put us on the map. The Hudson Valley continues to strengthen that as a brand.
I mean, it's a beautiful region, right? And like you said, you have an assortment. So you do have urban settings. There are a couple of cities, city of Newburgh, city of Middletown, Port Jervis. And then you have your little village settings like Goshen and Warwick and Montgomery and whatnot. So, yeah. And then, of course, there's rural areas and whatnot.
Yep.
So, great.
Well, that sector continues to grow. Film is an important part of what we're attracting here, and it adds to tourism, all of that. So that's why the Orange County Tourism Department has taken that on. That's the film office there. So, that's another great industry that's happening in Orange County.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, I lived in I live in Goshen, and the Village, they had a couple of Hallmark movies, and they, it was summertime, but they tried to make it like it was a Christmas movie. Yeah. So it was weird, but they had a lot of the residents, were extras in the film and whatnot.
People love that too, by the way. They go, if they are, we have aspiring actors who will be willing to be background actors and get a little exposure by other, their IMDb and all that. So it's fun. It's also a fun industry.
So, how have you seen the area change after the post-pandemic? I know you mentioned a little bit about, operational logistic, companies, the fact that this county is centrally located. We're close to Connecticut and Pennsylvania. We have the interstate highways and whatnot. But other than that, have you seen any changes after the pandemic in this region, or not really?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, certainly in warehouse distribution, because they have so many of these e-commerce companies that are blowing up now. Traditional brick and mortar is going that route. So we certainly have that. And again, logistically, we've got all the assets. So we're always, especially now, there were years where we're trying to get people, hey, Orange County, we're over here, whereas they're locating in New Jersey or, other areas like that was hot for it. We're really on the map now. So that's why you have so much interest and you're seeing them coming here. And they're great businesses. But I think beyond that, you're seeing scarcity of sites, I think, and there's a real stress of trying to get to market quickly. We need to have, there's a lot of what the IDA does. We're tracking projects using our incentives, but we also have a fund balance that we've accrued. And by the way, all of our revenue comes from fees that we charge companies that apply for incentives. Mm-hmm. We get no local funding, no state funding, no federal funding, any of that. It's all charged from that.
Sure. Self-sustaining.
It's self-sustaining. And we did build up a fund balance because we've had so much activity over the last 15 years. And we are trying to put that money to use. We're trying to actually create sites, bring them to a shovel-ready status so that a site selector that's often hired by a corporation looking for a location, they're only looking at sites that are going to be ready to go in the next several months. You certainly have to move the local approvals and all of that. But they want to have services there, municipal water and sewer, adequate power, especially the kinds of industries, the sectors we're trying to attract here. They need an abundant amount of power and oftentimes water. So you need to have those services. We're trying to, we first commissioned a study to identify remaining developable properties of various stages. So they could be greenfields, a former farm that is no longer, whatever it might be, or redevelopment of a contaminated property. That's something else we're getting into. And the IDA is willing to make some funding to help a property go through the entitlement or the local approval process. We also could fund maybe extending water and sewer to a site to make it more accessible. So, because that's what we're seeing now is that there's a scarcity of sites. And if you want to be in the map for these better projects, you got to be ready to go. So that's a lot of what our emphasis has been lately.
Yeah. And land development isn't easy.
It is.
To get out.
It is not easy, Lane, but there's a lot to it. And
especially when it comes to creating the infrastructure for a property.
No question.
Yeah.
That's why I boast about projects that even aren't the most popular. Amazon, I think just them coming anywhere, it's just not going to be popular. People love to, for some reason, hate on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
But we have a location in Montgomery. They're also considering another location in Orange County. But in Montgomery, kind of on the border of Newburgh, right off 84, off 747, State Route 747, which goes to the airport. That's why it was named that. It's underutilized. It's an exit that was added years ago to help the airport. But they actually, Amazon purchased, I think it was about 7 separate parcels that people had tried to put together and bring a real project there, but they couldn't do it. When you have a behemoth like Amazon and their team, their real estate team, as you said, land development is complicated. That alone, ascertaining that the properties and putting it all together and then going through the approvals process, sometimes these larger companies just have the team to be able to do it. Because as you said, local or even a regional developer, sometimes it's just too much for them. It's too onerous. As they say, there's hairs on everything. It's complicated. You have local approvals and sometimes political issues that come in. My least favorite part of the job, the politics of it. But it's essential. It's like everything I deal with is dripping in politics.
Yes.
Itself is not directly in it.
And it's all about
not
making compromises,
Absolutely. So some of these projects only happen in some locations that are ideal for it. Like that, there's low traffic there. It's access immediately to 84. We wanted a project like that there. Probably wouldn't have happened without something as strong as Amazon because, as you said, it's complicated.
Yeah.
And it's often difficult to get these projects to fruition.
As CEO of the Orange County IDA, what's your strategic vision for the IDA in the future? Maybe in the next 5-10 years, like thinking further out.
Absolutely. I'm a broken record with some of this stuff, but it's about focusing on the right industry sectors and bringing the right careers here. As we said, we all want our kids to be able to, whether they go to college or not, be able to come back here and have a vibrant career. And we need to raise the salary level of the jobs that we're attracting and the sustainability of them. We want them to be in sectors that are going to be around. And a lot of that is in healthcare, in pharma, in hospitality, food and beverage. Again, the holy grail being microchip manufacturing, because it's in everything that we do. And those are really the types of sectors we see attracting. And you have to have a few wins, which I'd love to talk about a couple that are important to get on the map, as I've been saying. And it takes a while to build that ecosystem to attract a certain sector. But once you do, I'll tell you what, it's amazing how many companies will locate where their competitors are because they know it works for them. It becomes a proven fact that type of business with their needs, competition has the similar needs, they can go there. So us to attract these sectors, we're trying to land some big kind of cornerstone projects and then build on that. So we want those sustainable sectors to be the foundation of our jobs here for the decades to come.
Got it. So if I hear correctly, that your big wish right now would be microchip.
It is
manufacturer.
Because the number of jobs they're building. Micron is a huge company in that space that is building a colossal facility in Clay, New York, which is essentially Syracuse. Thousands of jobs, high paying jobs, again in a sector that's not going anywhere. What it does require, what they had in Clay, is an enormous site. We're talking 1,000 acres. Abundant power, and I mean gigawatt power, that they often need. We have some limitations here. We do have power is a little more scarce here, access to it, whereas upstate it's abundant. They have hydropower, in addition to other, less expensive rates that we often have here. So power is a challenge, though. We work really well with our utilities here, Central Hudson and All-in-R, and do a great job of building up as we need it. But in New York, you don't see them build too much so that it comes. We do it, in response. So it takes us a little while to get that together. And again, we need a lot of land. We need municipal services on site. So we need some time to get some of those sites together. And we may not be able to get that behemoth. We are working on some sites like that to get a Micron here or AMD, some of these other companies. But there are opportunities, even if we don't get that holy grail yet, in the supply chain of those products. Like Micron, for example, it's what do you call it? SD discs, micro discs. Those all have packaging that goes around the actual chip that's inside it. Those are manufactured elsewhere. And now that something like Micron is coming to the region or just a neighboring region, they want that supply chain to be in proximity. So we have a great opportunity with that. Even if we don't land, or it takes us a while to land chip fab, we can work in that space in a lot of these ancillary types of sectors that really can benefit us and set us up for greater growth.
Yeah. I mean, we learned that lesson during the pandemic, right? When we found out most of the microchips are made out in Asia, and microchips are in everything.
Sure.
In everything. And
we had a contingent, by the way, to speak to that. The county executive, our partners, Connor Eckert, the Orange County Partnership, local planner, and other folks went to Taiwan recently. They went to a show out there, the Association of All Microchip Manufacturers and Other Technology, and they sat down. They had dinners with these folks, and a lot of there's a threat from China there, of China perhaps taking over Taiwan. So you're seeing a lot of these companies trying to locate elsewhere. We're trying to reshore a lot of this back to the United States. So I commend the county executive, our partners in economic development. I didn't make that trip. I wasn't excited about this 16-hour flight, but I give them a lot of credit. They came back and they really did great work out there. So that's how we're willing to go out to the other side of the globe to try and attract these sectors here, and it works. They built real relationships. We're having these companies come here now for substantive conversations about bringing their manufacturing facilities here. So it's exciting because it's not the end of the road here. It's not the where we want to the destination, but we're on that road, and it's all starting to come together, and it's really exciting for us. Really is good.
Now, you hear a lot in the news of data centers popping everywhere. Is that something that might be in the horizons for Orange County, the creation of data centers? Because, again, I know that takes a whole lot of power and a whole lot of space. And is it really creating the jobs? And,
That's a controversial one, I will say. I've been talking about data centers for several years now because, again, we're trying to attract tech here, and it's a part of the backbone, no question about it. But even New York State doesn't love data centers because they do require so much power, and that could be an opportunity cost where you're using power for a data center, but it could be used for, again, a fab site or some other tech production that requires power as well. But those projects could create many more jobs, construction and permanent jobs, whereas data centers, that's more limited. So we are entertaining a number. I will tell you that we've had a lot of requirements, meaning a request saying, here's what we need in order to bring this business here. We've been working on a number of those, looking at cloud computing as well. But I will say it's not the biggest slam dunk because some municipalities, or even New York State, isn't completely sold on trying to use our resources for that. So I think it's not impossible you see one because we are entertaining them. And again, they can go where, as of right, they can go based on the zoning. But we do have to think about the resources that they use up, which are finite. It's not an infinite number of resources in terms of power, water, et cetera. So that's something that's a little more sensitive. And, you need to peel back the onion a little bit more before someone makes a decision on locating here or hosting them.
And now you mentioned in your role, the role that politics play, and, appeasing different groups, different stakeholders in the community. What do you do to help ensure transparency and accountability in the incentive process? Because as you mentioned, the main tool you have in your tool belt are tax incentives.
Absolutely.
So how does that work?
Well, I appreciate you asking that because transparency is what we're all about. First of all, IDs are required to date. We have a lot of oversight. There's the state's authorities budget office that oversees public authorities like us. The state comptroller's office reviews IDAs every year, audits them. We have to provide statistics and information on every one of our projects every year to the state in a very formal process, the Paris reporting system. So we have all of that. And we also seek to be transparent. We just launched a brand new website where we're trying to make it even easier and more intuitive for the public, especially to come on. I want to learn about the Amazon project or Royal Wine or this boutique hotel that's coming to my area. I want to learn about it. Everything our board sees, every document, every application, every resolution signed is on our website under the project. Very easy. And I encourage people to go to our website, www.ocnyida.com. You go to our project section. It's very easy to search for those. So I think it's important that people know about it, especially the incentive process. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's misperceptions about what we do and why we do it. I think people think that we just give things away to companies. We're strategic about that. A lot of companies, especially some of these bigger projects, they just won't come without an incentive. They know they can get it elsewhere. They know it's cheaper to locate in Connecticut or Pennsylvania. So we need those. But I also try and communicate with the public. We do have social media. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're trying to be accessible to folks so that they see. Oftentimes, we want them to see the end result, what the business is, what the impact is to the area, how helpful that business is having in a certain community, the jobs that are created, talking to people that are employed by these different locations and such, and people that are uncertain or object to things. I take calls all the time from people. I talk to people that think I'm able to start or what we're doing. And we're trying to, it's corporate welfare. We're trying to give our resources away. And I usually change people's minds when we have a conversation, help them understand what our motivations are, what our priorities are, how we're vetting these projects. Often we always do a cost benefit analysis where we're looking at the cost being the incentives we're giving up. And I do want to clarify, we never write checks to anyone. All we do is provide savings. I'll give you our incentives if that's okay. I often call it the three-legged stool. There's three things essentially, and it's for a capital project. If you're going to come here, spend capital to build a facility or expand a facility, whatever it might be, those are where we help, the projects we help. And there's three ways we can help. One is on sales tax, on the building materials, the furniture, the fixture, the equipment that goes into a project. We can save them in Orange County the 8.125% sales tax on all of that. For some mega projects, that's millions of dollars, no question.
And they're shopping locally, right? How about it? They're getting their building materials, whatever it is.
That's also in our policy, our local labor policy. Not only do you need local workers, construction workers on site, but you have to make every best effort to source materials locally. There are a lot they can't get here, steel manufacturing and such. We provide waivers to that. You have to apply for a waiver if you're going to get something from outside the area. So we ensure that. A lot of people don't realize that. But then there's two other benefits. Mortgage recording tax. So if you're going to have a mortgage on this project, that there was a 1.05% tax on that. We can not eliminate it, but reduce it close to nil. I think it's close to 0.10, 0.1. So that's the second one. And the big incentive we offer is a property tax abatement, or known as a pilot payment in lieu of taxes. Instead of paying whatever the standard rate is, you're going to make predetermined payments. And essentially, I want to be clear. We never reduce anyone's taxes. They come and build something. The taxes aren't going down. They're going to go up as a result of the appreciation of that property. However, what we do is phase in those new taxes. Only the new taxes, we phase them in over, say, 10, 15, 20 years, depending upon the benefit they're bringing here. So it's only a savings on future taxes that they're going to be expending, never reducing taxes, never writing a check, granting anything like that. It's just not how we operate. So in communicating that to the public, helping them understand, being as transparent as possible, that's the only way that we're going to get some mutual understanding of what we're trying to do. And we're certainly not trying to hurt anyone. We're trying to help people's livelihoods, strengthen their families, strengthen the local economy, not just for now, but for the future. So talking to people, transparency, again, is the only way. We try and go above and beyond what we're required to do so that people do understand what we're doing and they know what's happening in their community. I'm not trying to push something in a community against someone's will or without them understanding exactly what the opportunity is. So that's really what we strive to do, the understanding we try and achieve.
Yeah, you're considering all stakeholders.
Exactly. We have to. This isn't New York City. This isn't some, huge metropolis. There's 400,000 people in our whole county, and municipalities with, many of them with less than 20,000 people in it. These are my communities. I've worked in several of them, running the Boys and Girls Club or at some other capacity through the chamber. I care about these people and these communities, and I'm a community developer first with my background in youth development and all my volunteerism over the years. So, and I've learned, especially in a place like Newburgh where I live and work, the cross section of community development and economic development is the key. You want them to go hand in hand and strengthen each other. And you can't have an economic development project that kills community. It's just not possible. So we have to have that understanding. We have to work with the municipalities in order to bring the right projects in the right places.
Yeah. That's the perfect segue to my next question was, yes, the county's a rural county, right? As you mentioned, only 400,000 residents spread throughout the county. But there's still some urban areas with a lot of history. Yes. As you mentioned, the city of Newburgh, city of Middletown, city of Port Jervis. How does the Orange County IDA help revitalize some of these areas or some of these properties that might be distressed?
Sure. So part of the answer is that we're the county IDA. We have jurisdiction over the entire county. We can work in any municipality, but there are local IDAs as well. We have our three cities all have their own IDA, Newburgh, Port Jervis, and Middletown. And then we have the town of Montgomery and the town of Wallkill have, two important centers there of activity. They have their own IDA. I believe in that. I work very closely with them. We try and share resources so that especially we're larger, we have, greater efficiency. So we try and share that. but they do tremendous work to impact their own communities. And I think those local decisions are important. In the city of Newburgh, that IDA has approved a number of really critical projects, a boutique hotel, important housing projects, job creating projects that frankly, especially in a city like Newburgh, would not happen without them. So I think those are absolutely essential. And in other ways, we support our cities, our Shovel Ready program, where we're trying to help even in urban centers, try and help them get properties ready that they can redevelop and generate new tax revenue, attract jobs, all of that. I work closely with the city. I keep mentioning Newburgh because it was my adopted home. And it's a city that has had its challenges, no question, not just public safety, and have trouble redeveloping neighborhoods. That's all changed now. All of us working together, promoting the cities, really working with the municipal leaders to bring the right kinds of projects here. And you're seeing it now. The types of projects that they need help with that we can incentivize oftentimes are in hospitality. At a boutique hotel, for example, in Cornwall, it's coming to Cornwall. That is not one of our cities, but it's a village that has an incredible number of tourists coming to the area for Storm King Art Center and other assets they have, but they have nowhere to stay. There are a couple Airbnbs and bed and breakfasts, but generally people are staying outside the area. In Port Jervis, there's no hotel there. People are staying not in the city,
Pennsylvania.
They're staying in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So that's called economic leakage. People are coming and they're maybe visiting a brewery or hiking in the tremendous trails that they have in Port Jervis, but they can't stay there. And if you stay in a hotel in Pennsylvania, guess where you're going to eat dinner? Guess the streets you're going to go down and shop. So it's important for us to have some of those attractors. And that's even in Cornwall, we had to push it back on a boutique hotel downtown on Main Street, the businesses it's going to feed, the economy it's going to help generate by capturing those tourists and keeping them in your community. It's tremendous. So we're seeing our cities on the rise. We're seeing our small villages also being on the rise. New York State has helped as well with their incentives. We have a number of municipalities that won the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, the DRI. That's $10 million that goes to a community to help them in various projects and such. Middletown was the first recipient of that in our region, and they've really maximized that. If you go downtown, you're seeing tremendous growth.
There's a lot of new businesses around.
And New York, even a few years ago, came out with New York Forward. That program is kind of like a mini DRI. And we have a couple of our municipalities just won that in Highland Falls, the village of Montgomery. Those are communities that are really working together. I've been in many meetings I've been invited into. Hey, we want to grow our community, but in the right way. These are the types of businesses we want. This is where we need help. And we've worked together on that. And I'm so proud to see, again, not just cities, but villages coming back and really going to a place they've never been before, at local tourism, attracting different sectors that work for them. It's really been exciting.
Good. So I have a selfish question. What emerging trends are you seeing that commercial real estate professionals should take note of?
I think I'm going to go back to what I said before. I think the biggest thing that I see in my world, because we do a lot of ground up development, a lot of construction from, an empty parcel or something like that, is speed to market. It's got to be the availability of an inventory of sites. And that's becoming more and more important in the commercial real estate business, that you need to have sites ready to go for development. Otherwise, they're going to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I think speed to market, and is one of the highest priorities for us in getting sites ready. And that's why the idea has been investing in identifying sites and helping them get to a state where they can host a project within a year. Because we're just not going to get those types of exciting, especially larger scale projects without having sites ready to go. So I think that's the biggest, new priority. It's become even more of heightened importance is speed to market with available inventory of property.
Yeah, I've seen it as well. It's trying to match up buyers with the right property, and it's difficult because there just aren't that many properties that might meet the specific needs.
Sure, we had a whole inventory of us. Definitely, we had an inventory of what we classified as shovel ready or near shovel ready. 10 years ago, I was working off an Excel spreadsheet of that. Those are all gone now. We've had so much development that those key parcels are gone. That's why we commissioned a study to identify what other developable properties are there that would be strategic locations to host the right types of sectors we're trying to attract. So That's important. We run out of sites. It's not that there's no more room here or that we've got to pave over open space. That's also important. I give the county executive, Steve Nuance, a lot of credit. He's Mr. Economic Development, but he's also Mr. Open Space. He's really being a part of identifying and working with the Open Space Institute to take even more property off the rolls there and make it forever wild. We do want to keep what's special about Orange County. It's that balance between industry, vibrant urban sectors, but also being able to maintain the beautiful quality of life, the landscape we have here. That's what makes it so special. So people think we're trying to pave over everything.
No. We need our farmers. We need, and there's still a reason why thousands of people travel here every weekend in the fall, see our fall foliage, right? Go apple picking, pumpkin picking, whatever it is.
Agritourism is an incredible sector for us. It's really, really important. It helps, again, the smaller communities oftentimes, not to mention our farming community.
Last question for you. Do you see any upcoming policy changes or anything else that you could throw in your tool belt to help attract more businesses? Anything, or is there anything you would like to see that might assist you in doing your job better?
I got to think about this, Chris.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Because you did ask like almost the magic wand question, if I could do whatever I want.
There you go.
All right. Let me just think for a second because I hadn't prepped on this at all.
Everyone would say yes to.
Yeah, exactly.
To me. I mean, what other incentives can you think of other than tax incentives to help attract businesses? Is it more, do we need more power? You mentioned power. Is that something that's needed?
We absolutely need more power in this region.
Okay.
You're seeing new projects to deliver more power all the way to New York City, the Champlain-Hudson power line. That's coming through our area, but not delivering any power to us. It's going straight to New York City. So we do need that. A few years ago, CPV was built in kind of the Minnesink area. I know a lot of people don't like it. You don't want to see any of that stuff. It's on the highway. But still, I understand that. But that's out of the need of scarcity of power in the region. So we do need that. As I mentioned, we do need sites. And what the also key component that I'll say is an emerging trend or something I want to see continue is workforce development.
Okay.
That's absolutely key. Companies come where the talent is. They absolutely need that today. Obviously, there's scarcity of talent as well. They want to know where there's a concentration of it. We have a lot to offer here, but we need to engage our academic community. We have some great schools here, Mount St. Mary College, SUNY Orange. SUNY Orange is, we just are attracting a pharmaceutical manufacturer here, actually. It's another project I'm really excited about at Stewart Airport. Some long fallow land that's going to be developed here, which we've been trying to incentivize for a while. It's a pharmaceutical manufacturer. They make chlorhexidine glucotine. It is a pre-surgical scrub. I'm proud that I could say that.
Yes.
And they're going to create 100 high-paying jobs in the sector. This is one of the examples, as I mentioned before, that we need to land some early wins so that the sector, other companies in that sector know, hey, this is a place to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that company, for example, that we've almost finalized the deal to bring them here. We've already partnered them with SUNY Orange to develop workforce training so they can have a pipeline of talent that they can bring, into these jobs. It's essential now. So I would say workforce development is something that was overlooked for a while. When I started a decade ago in economic development, it was talked about in our industry, but it wasn't something that was commonplace that people were talking about. Now everyone's talking about workforce. So again, involving our partners in that community and everyone working together to try and build that pipeline, that's essential to attract businesses now and in the future, many years to come.
How is our transportation? Stewart Airport, we've... And I say we, like I played a role in it.
Well,
we as a county,
it's a team game.
We've done our best to attract new carriers. Carriers come, they go. I love to fly out of Stewart. I think more and more, I think it's a catch-22, right? Where more and more people would love to fly out of Stewart when possible, but not enough people utilize it to attract more carriers.
That's it. It's totally a catch-22. I've said the same thing all the time where you need more ridership to attract these airlines.
Yes.
But you need more airlines and more options for people to utilize it more. It's a real it's a tough thing. That is something that has stung Stewart Airport over the years. COVID killed us as well. We're doing so well. We had Play Airlines here.
Yeah.
We had so many local carriers, Delta and American, and they've left since. Ridership, obviously, at a period where it really declined. It's coming back now, but we lost those airlines in the meantime. Another factor is, and I don't want to get political or whatever you want to call it, is the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey owns Stewart Airport. It is their little, red-handed stepchild compared to the Newark, JFK, LaGuardia. They talked about offloading cargo traffic to us, which we're certainly open to. Hasn't really materialized as much. And I just don't think we're not as much a priority as the other airports you see. Obviously, they're colossal, and the activity you have there. This is a smaller regional airport with great potential. In the city, we brought up on Coach USA buses to fly out of Stewart. Sure, it's easier than going down to the city to go to an airport.
Listen, when I have to fly, if I can't use Stewart, I'll go Westchester whenever possible.
Right.
Even if I have to pay a little more, it's so much better. It's just a lot more convenient.
Flying out of Stewart is a dream. When you could do it, we fly to Florida all the time that way. It's amazing. Allegiant has a lot of flights there. Yeah. It's really a great way to go. So I'm still hopeful about the airport, both the airlines themselves and development around the airport, building that up. There's a lot of land that was owned by the town of New Windsor that is now available for sale. Some developers have purchased some of that. Again, we have a pharmaceutical manufacturer about to build there. So the airport is still key to the county and to driving growth. And we want to continue to work with the Port Authority, their local commission, the chamber, tourism, again, the county executive's office, all work very closely, trying to squeeze out whatever success we can out of that.
And we're good on our roadways.
And roadways are essential as well, Chris. I will say the county does a tremendous job of keeping up our roads and bridges. They're allocating more and more budgeting to that all the time. The challenge we have, frankly, is with the state. I don't mean to indict anyone, but state roads, which we don't have control over, we're constantly advocating. The county executive is out there killing state officials, frankly. Anytime he sees that.
17.
It's we need it.
Or is our future 86 as it's been, they wanted to be chained for so many years. It was
one of our 3 interstate highways. That one's still, developing.
Yeah.
But it needs work. And if those roads are in bad shape, I mean, it hurts commerce, and not to mention tourism, our own residents. So that, and again, I give the county executive a lot of credit. He's out there banging that drum, trying to get them to do what we're doing locally, which is take care of our bridges and roads, in order to, help support everything we're trying to do.
Well, before we head out, do you want to let the audience know? I know you mentioned the website. Any other contact information? Yeah, for businesses that want to come to Orange County and truly understand why we're so special here.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, our website is the centerpiece of all of our information going out. Again, everything is fully transparent. Projects we have, but we're also advertising the incentives and such. Our website is www.ocnyida.com, Orange County, New York IDA, ocnyida.com. Very easy to navigate, but if you have any questions, I encourage you to call us, 845-234-4192. I'll talk to anyone that has any questions. And we also work closely with our partners, I'll say, and the Orange County Partnership being the most important partner. They are really the business attraction engine for Orange County. They are doing the attraction marketing. Their staff is incredible. Connor Eckert is new director of business attraction and development, Lucas Arache. They are pounding the pavement. They're going to developers. They're going to commercial real estate brokers. They're bringing them here. And they're flying to Taiwan to attract businesses here.
There you go.
So they generate a lot of our activity and bringing a lot of prospective projects to us, but we're also promoting it as well. So yeah, if anyone's interested in coming to Orange County, contact us, contact me, look up the Orange County Partnership because we work so closely together. And then our partners in the county's economic development office, Steve Gross there, Amanda Dana at the tourism department. We have the Chamber of Commerce, which really we kind of hand off businesses to take care of them and make sure that they're connecting with other businesses. So we work really closely together. You contact any of these partners, we're going to get everyone, around the table together. And the biggest thing I've learned about Orange County and our key to success is we get deals done, Chris.
Yeah.
It's important in real estate. You have a lot of people come with ideas and plans, and for politics, for the reasons of a municipality not being, on the same page with their own departments in times or planning boards and such. Projects don't happen, but we align. Even if we bicker about things because we want to go different directions, we are a great team, and it all comes together when a project comes to Orange County. We get those deals done for the most part, the ones that fit here.
Yeah,
I will say. So I'm proud of that, and so you can contact anyone on our team, and you're going to get treated, with a real concierge service, and we're going to make it very clear to you what Orange County has to offer, and it's very unique, and we're very lucky what we have here, and that's why you're seeing the successes we have, and you're going to see even greater successes for years to come.
Great. I mean, I appreciate the real talk, the real conversation, because, you're a real person, and that's why this is the realest show you know.
This is great. I really appreciate it. I love you days here, too. This is super cool. Does this go up? Oh, I could have been...
Listen, we could have been reclined. We could have had coffee, drinks, whatever it is. Next time.
I'll do my whole interview popped up here. Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And until the next episode, I'll see you later for the realest show you know.
Once again, this be the realest shit you heard in your life.